Hi everybody, Ghost Critic, and it's almost the end of the year, so it's time for the annual best and worst that has gone on this year. I really don't think anything phenomenal is going to come out in the next 2 weeks, so I've made my decisions. It's been a strange old year, and especially with the whole DC relaunch, it's been difficult to try and make it as inclusive as possible. I think it was very difficult to remember anything DC had done before the relaunch, and it kind of reflects that in the choices I've made. There probably was some really great comics before the relaunch from DC, but the whole relaunch has kind of made me forget them. Despite looking through everything, this is what I decided on. As with all these kind of, best and worst of things, they are my own personal opinion. You may agree with some of them, you may disagree, but we all have our own tastes, and these are mine. So let's kick off with a biggie. Best ongoing series of 2011. There have been some phenomenal series going on, not least, Dan Slott's run on Amazing Spider-Man has been fantastic. It really has. Really brought me back into the whole Spider-Man universe, but it's not Amazing Spider-Man. Animal Man, yeah, it's been brilliant, but it's only 4 issues in. I know that's been on the top of my pick of the weeks for many, many months, and especially like Swamp Thing, stuff like that. But for me, constantly, continually raising the bar on, storytelling, keeping me excited about what's going to come next issue, for me it had to be Uncanny XForce. Yes, Rick Remender has done something that not many people have done outside of the kind of event type comics that have come out this year. Especially in this latest that has just finished, the Dark Angel saga. And it is a saga. It's been an overreaching, very long story arc, but it hasn't disappointed from every single issue. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I swear I don't think there has been one title within normal continuity that's not part of an event that has had a storyline that has lasted this long and has been this high a quality. It's definitely one that if you haven't picked up in the single issues, go and get the trade out. It's bound to be out very soon, if not the new year. This has been the best title ongoing series for 2011. Of course, there's been some real stinkers, but no more than this. Legion Lost, from the new relaunch of DC, it was a car crash from start to, well, the 3rd issue I got and then dropped. Fabian Nietzsche, he did not know how to write a teen book at all. I cared nothing for these characters. I didn't even know who half of them were. The storyline was just completely a mess, and that I gave it a try. I was hoping for more. It was terrible. Best single issue of 2011. And there were again some great standout issues, but for me it had to go to issue 657 of The Amazing Spider-Man. Why? This is the fallout from Johnny Storm and his death, and how it affected Peter and as his superhero alias Spider-Man. There are 3 short tales in here, each so well done, and really, you know, gave the reader a feeling of the relationship, the kind of bromance, if you want to call it that, between Spidey and Human Torch. Yes, they fought like they were mortal enemies, you know, all their jokes and jibes at each other, but these two guys really were the best of friends, and Dan Slott just smashed this issue for me. By the end of it, there was a lump in my throat, I was welling up. Seriously, this is a great, great issue, and really, you know, brought home how much of a loss Human Torch was to the Fantastic Four, how close him and Peter were, and, you know, the introduction basically of Spidey into the Fantastic Four, becoming a full-time member. Forget, you know, that, you know, he's back, Human Torch, he was never really dead. Just, it's a fantastic issue. Highlight one shot issue for me throughout 2011. So what was the surprise of the year for me? This basically has to come from the new DC, and it was from a character very rarely used, had a very critically acclaimed run from Grant Morrison, and it was so underrated, the series, the past series by Grant Morrison, that we really didn't expect much when it came to them being relaunched. A character that we all thought, very strange to have him in the new relaunch. But it really, really just blew a lot of people away. And I think it has surprised a great many people at how high this has achieved, quality-wise, story-wise, artistically, and it really has pushed some boundaries, and that was Animal Man. Of all the number ones, I thought it really delivered in introducing the character, and then forming the story, continued on, developing the characterizations. It's not just about Buddy, it's about his family life, and the threats that they have to deal with because of his powers, and as anyone who's read it now, Maxine's. And it just came out of the blue. I thought really this would have been like a middling kind of title that, you know, some people would have been interested in it in a kind of nostalgic way because they loved Grant Morrison's run and were interested to see what now Jeff Lemire could do with it, but exceeded all expectations. A fantastic, fantastic surprise. Of course, with surprises there has to come disappointments, and again, sorry DC, it's got to come from the New 52, and surprisingly it's a Batman title. But we know it isn't Scott Snyder. I didn't really expect much from The Dark Knight, to be honest, so it's not that one. Batman and Robin, it's kind of grew on me. It started very shaky for me, but it's starting to grow on me, and the whole relationship between, you know, Bruce Wayne and Damian Batman and the new Robin is settling in. So really, that kind of only really leaves Detective. Yes, flagship Batman title, incredibly disappointing. From its very kind of iffy artwork throughout from Tony S. Daniel, to some very dubious characterisation of Batman, and just a kind of middle of the road, lacklustre storyline really, from this doll maker character. Interesting backstory, kind of overarching characterisation, but so misused by Tony Daniel that really it was a bit of a roller coaster ride with Detective. Very disappointed in this. I hope it gets better in the new year. So who was the best writer? Who was the best writer for 2011 in my opinion? Again, there have been some standout writers who have really hooked us, surprised us and excited us. Scott Snyder doing Swamp Thing, doing Batman, both great titles, both great storytellers. Jeff Lemire, who's doing Animal Man, and I know a lot of people have had some great things to say about Frankenstein. Obviously Jeff Lemire doing his Vertigo title Sweet Tooth, that has been exceptional. But for me, standout writer and just consistently great, really great, and has made my comic book reading just an enjoyable, entertaining and essentially fun hobby, is Dan Slott, writer of Amazing Spider-Man. And I just thought I'd show this cover because I know Dakin Howler showed his, and I think a couple of other people have shown theirs as well. But this was the variant cover for the start of Spider Island, where your comic book shop paid to have their shop or a photo on the cover. And I don't know how well you can see that. I'm trying to get it as close without ruining it, but I think that'll do. Yes, the outside of the shop that I use, which is about 10 minutes away from me, Close Encounters, with some of the staff there and some of the customers. Apparently they had to do this at something like 7:30 in the morning while there was no traffic or people going around, because it's quite a busy street. But yeah, that's my variant cover, and cost me a pretty penny, to be honest. But yes, Dan Slott, writer of Amazing Spider-Man, he just made comics, especially Amazing Spider-Man, he just made them fun to read. They were exciting, they were full of emotion, there was a sense of danger in parts, and of course Spider Island has been just exciting from start to finish. It was that should have been the event for Marvel this year, instead of the whole Hammer Fear Itself debacle that, you know, I just had to stop. I had to stop with. So yes, Dan Slott, you are the writer of 2011. And the best artist, we saw a little glimpse of him way back when we thought this title was coming back into continuity, a new title within the Bat universe, and giving this character their own title rather than, you know, being in Batman's title. And it's just, the artwork on this is just so good. The use of paneling, the design, the attention to detail. You turn over every page and you just don't know what you're going to get. And that had to be J. H. Williams III. His work on Batwoman, just phenomenal. There has been so many, you know, styles of drawing within, you know, just the first 4 issues, and it's been an exciting run, just purely artistically. Forget about the story, just artistically. He really just knocked it out of the park for me. So, best artist. Cover of the year. This character, this title, won it last year. I don't know what it is about this character and the cover artists, but they always have the best, and they're like always the cover that I would love to see in a huge poster that I could maybe frame and stick on the wall. I would have it there in a second. So, if anyone watched my 2010 best and worst of video, you will already know what character's coming up. But maybe you don't know what cover it is. It's Daredevil, the first issue of the new run, and I just absolutely love this cover. from the background that's made up of, you know, all the words of whatever it's showing. So you've got, you know, the pigeons, the birds, and within that the word of what they make, so they're flapping. You've got, you know, sounds of cars, you've got sounds of people, glugs, people drinking obviously, like screaming of cars braking. The smoke coming out of chimneys made into, you know, the smoke billowing and shh, the noise of it. And then of course right in the middle you have got Daredevil flying right across it. The positioning of one of his kind of nunchuck baton things covering his eyes, showing, you know, the obvious blindness of the character. It was just a phenomenal cover. I just love it. Best mini-series of the year, and I'm kind of cheating here because didn't really get a lot of mini-series this year. I didn't want to get into the whole event like Fear itself, and I know X-Men Schism was out and I got those, but no, I didn't pick that as good as it was. And like I said, I'm cheating a little bit. This came before the reboot, relaunch, and clearly wasn't there to be made as a mini-series, but because of the relaunch it had to stop. It was 6 issues of just pure class, and for me the mini-series was Zombie from DC, written by John Rosen and artwork by Fraser Irving. It was just phenomenal. Almost, if it hadn't been for Batwoman, you know, Fraser Irving would have got Artist of the Year, because until this issue I wasn't a great fan of his work, probably because he was misused in titles, and his artwork didn't, for me, fit in with characters that he was being used for. But here in Zombie, it just was to a T, it really was. I love this title. I was so gutted when I found out it wasn't in the relaunch. I hope they bring him back in whatever. I think he'd do really well in Justice League Dark. He's a great character, could go in there perfectly. Or, you know, just give him his own title. Penultimate one to watch. New series just come out. X-Men titles, they've all kind of relaunched, or they've got this whole Regenesis banner on. For me, one to watch for 2011. It's Wolverine and the X-Men. It's 2 issues in, but I just think it's a riot. It really is. I like that this is Wolverine, and it will probably change a little as the series goes on, but at the moment it's kind of very light-hearted. It's the humorous side of Wolverine where we can, you know, poke a little fun at him. It's not the slash and hack of his Wolverine title, or Wolverine the Best There Is, or whatever it's called. This is kind of, yeah, no, it is. It's a family entertainment book. I wouldn't say it was all ages, but you know, you haven't got that high gore, the high violence of, say, Wolverine, or Wolverine the Best, whatever he is. So I like this, that it's more light-hearted, that it's more humorous. We can poke fun at Wolverine, and I'm really looking forward to see where this goes with, you know, Logan Wolverine as now the headmaster of this new school. So pick that one up. Finally, Trade of the Year. We can't afford every single title that we like in single issues as much as I'd love to, so there has been a lot of trades I've picked up. You know, I've had Chew, Sweet Tooth. I'm just going to quickly look around what else. DMZ's been really good this year. The Walking Dead. There's been some great trades, let's put it that way. But far and above all those, and you know, I do wish I had got this in the single issues, but now I'm doing the trades, I'm sticking with that. This nice hardback, it's Lock and Key. if you aren't picking Lock and Key up in singles, don't know what this title is about, or have, you know, it's been under your radar, you really need to go and check out. It's up to its fourth, trade. They are in paperback. They are slightly more expensive than your regular, you know, kind of paperback or even hardback titles, but Joe Hill just writes the most phenomenal, creepy, kind of supernatural horror ride. He really does. I know it's bad, but I just rush reading through these because they are so much fun to read. They're so enthralling. I just get so sucked into the world of these kids and the mother, the Locke children. You need to be reading this. And I guess really that's it for me for 2011. I'd love to see some of your guys' choices, whether it's in the comments below or just do a video response. Pick your best out. That's it for this year. Wow, didn't it go quick? Looking forward to 2012, see what's going to bring. I expect many, many good things. Bye bye.